Sono in un Hawaiian homestead. Per vivere qui bisogna avere il 25% di discendenza hawaiana dimostrabile. Questo è quanto di più lontano mi potevo immaginare dall'idea di Hawaii che avevo.
You cannot have Hawaiian culture without Hawaiian people.
Everything that they did to us was wrong.
It's made official at the White House. President Eisenhower congratulates the new congressional representatives of Hawaii.
So it's an occupied state right now. If you don't know, this is what's really going on.
In questo momento mi ritrovo nel mezzo dell'Oceano Pacifico, a Honolulu, la capitale delle isole Hawaii. Quando pensiamo alle Hawaii, la prima cosa che ci viene in mente, oltre alla parola aloha, sono le danze polinesiane, il surf e le meravigliose spiagge incontaminate. Eppure c'è un lato oscuro delle Hawaii che nessuno conosce. La popolazione nativa hawaiana, infatti, è una minoranza oramai sulle isole ed è completamente tagliata fuori dall'economia del turismo. I nativi hawaiani rappresentano la fascia più povera della popolazione di queste isole. Le Hawaii sono uno stato federato degli Stati Uniti d'America. Sono le terre emerse più isolate al mondo. Distano dalla costa americana ben 4.000 km. Circa 1.500 anni fa furono raggiunte da popoli polinesiani che vi portarono la loro cultura, la loro lingua e la loro religione. I territori erano divisi in aupua, aree che partivano dalle cime montuose fino al mare, in modo da garantire spazi per coltivare e accessi al mare per la pesca a tutti gli abitanti. Nel 1778 il capitano James Cook fu il primo europeo a visitare le isole e da quel momento iniziarono gli scambi commerciali con il resto del mondo. Iniziano ad arrivare i primi missionari dal New England, affaristi americani ed europei, balenieri, coltivatori di zucchero e di ananas. Passano gli anni e i latifondisti stranieri aumentano a dismisura. L'immigrazione dei lavoratori da Cina, Filippine, Giappone e Portogallo trasforma i nativi hawaiani in una minoranza nelle loro stesse isole. Nel 1887 i latifondisti americani ed europei insorgono imponendo quella che oggi viene chiamata la Costituzione della baionetta. La clausola più importante permetteva il voto solo a chi era titolare di proprietà o con un reddito annuo di almeno $600. Questo eliminò i nativi dalla vita politica delle isole. Fu imposto un governo provvisorio con a capo Sanford Dole, uno dei più importanti produttori di ananas a livello mondiale ancora oggi. E il presidente William McKinley firmò l'annessione delle Hawaii nel 1898, nominando Dole governatore. Le Hawaii erano state ufficialmente occupate dagli Stati Uniti d'America. Negli anni 50 del Novecento iniziano a diventare la destinazione turistica paradisiaca che conosciamo tutt'oggi.
And when you experience Royal Hawaiian Service, you'll know why.
Come to our little corner of the world.
Il costo della vita a Honolulu e in generale in tutte le isole Hawaii è diventato così alto per via dell'industria turistica che gli stessi hawaiani non riescono più a vivere in queste isole. Sono obbligati infatti a vivere in terreni di proprietà governativa, chiamati Hawaiian Homestead. Il mio obiettivo in questo viaggio è quello di andare a conoscere queste comunità. Questo è quanto di più lontano mi potevo immaginare dall'idea di Hawaii che avevo. Completamente un altro mondo. Non sembrano troppo amichevoli. Si vede che c'è un po' di chiusura qua, soprattutto perché mi vedranno come appunto il classico turista.
Niente, qua è stato impossibile trovare qualcuno che volesse chiacchierare, è una comunità molto chiusa, molto riservata.
So where there are like concentration of like Native Hawaiians, right? So they have like homestead land, right? So Waimanalo, there's the place where those guys are. They have their own little fenced off little whatever.
Waimanalo.
Yeah, it must be hard to get in. Like you have to put in work to get in.
Sto passeggiando per il centro di Waimanalu, è completamente diverso da Nanakuli, è un'atmosfera molto più rilassata, anche le case non sono fatiscenti, si vede insomma che è un contesto diverso da quello in cui sono stato ieri. Sono in un Hawaiian homestead, per vivere qui bisogna avere il 25% di discendenza hawaiana dimostrabile. Oggi troverò qualcuno da intervistare. Ho appena visto un signore in giardino, adesso mi avvicino e vedo se riesco a fare 2 chiacchiere con lui.
My name is Michael. I've been living in Waimanalo, this area, the homestead, since 1959. I'm a native Hawaiian, yes I am. With Americanization, for me, I kind of lost contact with most of my culture. Everything that they did to us was wrong. I choose to hang on to my identity as a Hawaiian first.
And do you speak Hawaiian?
No.
You don't?
When I went to school, they wasn't teaching Hawaiian. The law for 50% blood quantum went changed, I believe, in the last maybe 10 years, maybe a little longer. It's now 25%. One of your parents was 50% and the other one wasn't. That would be the leasee for the property. When that parent passes away, if you can prove you're 25% from that 50, then you can hang on to the property. But if you cannot prove, you end up without the property, you lose the property.
This means also that in the next 50 or 100 years, no one will be 25%.
If your children don't marry into one Hawaiian, family and get Hawaiian blood added to their children, you most likely not going to have the property. Most likely, most of these people, another 100 years, not going to have Hawaiian homes. The treaty that we went signed to become Americans, we never. Not my parents, not my grandparents, none of our ancestors actually went succeed to the United States. It'll continue to be an occupied state until we can address that. If you don't know, this is what's really going on in Hawaii. Right to that building right there. And just ask them where the Hawaiian language class at, and they can take and point you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you for doing what you do.
Sto andando alla scuola per vedere se c'è qualcuno che ha voglia di raccontarmi un po' come funziona il discorso dell'insegnamento della lingua hawaiana. I'm doing a short documentary about the Hawaiian culture. I would like to know something about the teaching of the Hawaiian language.
Okay. Alia. My name is Hoku Scanlon. I'm 34 years old, so we're teaching babies 3 and 4 years old how to speak Hawaiian. When the missionaries came here, the American explorers came here, didn't allow us to speak our language. We weren't allowed to dance our hula, practice our culture, things like that. My grandparents, my great-grandparents weren't allowed to speak it in school, but yet my siblings and I can. Hawaiians in that generation thought that in order to be successful, we needed to be English speakers and be successful in that way, be Americans. If we don't have a language, our people are not our people without our language. A certain generation came up and decided to start teaching it in the schools. Every school is mainly taught in English. It's not like automatic that if you're Hawaiian, you go to Hawaiian language school. You have to choose that for your children. I think a lot of times people will say, oh, well, if it wasn't for America, you wouldn't have electricity or cars or Target or... Yeah, it's convenient, sort of, but the convenience comes with the price of losing our own culture, losing our access to our own land. So I don't think that America's occupation here is too much beneficial to us. People will wish me a happy 4th of July, and I have to say I don't celebrate that. I don't celebrate the independence of a nation who came to take our independence. Because we were okay. We knew the stars. We knew how to navigate the oceans. We knew how to manage our lands and our resources so that it was sustainable. It's really hard to live here and be able to keep up with the ongoing development of our lands. Everybody's here for the vacation and the scenery and the sightseeing and the Instagram posts and things like that, and to be able to say I went to this magical place. And the more people want to move here, the more developers want to create this beautiful fantasy of a place to live in, and so they want to develop our land further and further. which then makes housing too expensive. Those of us who would be willing to live on the beach in order to stay here on our own land where our grandparents and our ancestors' bones lie. You cannot have Hawaiian culture without Hawaiian people. Our resources are limited. Like I said, our water is polluted already, it's poisoned. The more people that come to stay in the hotels, the more fresh water they need to use, the less that'll be available for us. As people from this place, we know how to respect it. We know what the value of it truly is, and it's not the dollar. People who come to visit, they usually come for the experience, and they don't come to support the native people here. They come to support the corporate businesses, to dress like us or to feel like they're Hawaiian too, but that's not the real Hawaii. That's not the real culture of our people. I think what you're doing is important, and as long as you come here with the intention to help our people, share with the world that Hawaii needs help. We're not as glamorous as people think it is. We're out here every day. It's a fight to come. As long as we stay, as long as we can fight to stay here, then there will be no risk of disappearance. Yeah.
Non potevo chiedere di meglio come intervista, due persone estremamente consapevoli, con le idee molto chiare. Sono stato invitato alla festa di inizio anno delle scuole di lingua hawaiana.
I was telling you, the Red Hill water crisis is the jet fuel that the military has stored in tanks, 100-year-old tanks, directly above the fresh water. So it's where our land stores fresh water for us to use. And the fuel was leaking into the fresh water. And once there's fuel in the water, all the water is contaminated. So people were getting sick, things like that. So they don't think about the long-term effects and the people who are going to be here in the next 100 years. What is going to be left for them? So it's kind of up to us to fight for what's right and how to take care of the land, take care of the water, take care of each other.
What was rewarded for taking care?
Malama. Yeah. I think it's important that our people, that, like what I said to you, your goal to lift the voices of Native people is so necessary.
Got into a fight. Well, I feel so break up. I wanna go home. I want to go home. So now hoist up the Jambi sail.
What we're all about, we all get together. It's called Ohana.
What is Ohana?
Ohana is family.
Let me go home. Let me go home.
Eola ka olala Hawaii ya e mawana kalahui Hawaii. Ola.
What does it mean?
May our language live on forever so that our lahui, our nation, can live on. Ola means to live.
Cheese. Okay.